congratulations for
Thank you.
for the event.
Thank you.
What right, we're on day 3. You're probably quite exhausted. What's been some of your proudest moments of the last few days at this event here?
The amount of congratulatory messages that both myself and my partners have received over the last couple of days it's been heartwarming. Not only that, we've heard from some of our partners that they're going to recommit to next year's event, and our platinum partner and our biggest partner for this event, MasterCard, has told us they're going to recommit for another 3 years. So, that is indicative of what we've been able to pull off here. I think we've done an event that is so unusual, but at the same time it's been really fantastic for most of, if not all of its participants. So you're right, I am exhausted, I'm completely knackered, but I'll sleep when it's all over. But it's really, really heartwarming to have gotten such positive responses from folks thus far.
That's really cool. So obviously it's the first event. Not only is it the first event of Fintech Island, it's the first event of its kind in this region here. Yeah. Could have been an absolute swing and a miss, but it was going for a big swing.
Yeah.
What were some of the little sort of plussing moments that you were looking out for across the thing, and what has gone right through the conference?
I mean, what's gone right is I think we've gotten it right with regards to who we've been able to attract here. And that's one of the things that most folks have said that's been more surprising to them, the diversity of the crowd, right? Typically when you have conferences in the Caribbean region on any island, 70 to 80% of the participants are from that island. You could flip that for this event where probably 10 to 20% of the participants are from Barbados and the rest are from outside of Barbados and really from across the world. So the diversity of having folks representing every region here, not only as speakers, but just as regular participants, I think that's where we got it absolutely right. We always advertise this as a global event that just happens to be in Barbados, and I think we've delivered on that.
And your team as a whole, I've heard nothing but positive things about your team. Just talk me through a little bit about your team's role within all this.
Yeah, well, we were basically the engine behind all of this. Kirk Allison and myself met in Miami in March of last year, and we wanted to come up with a set of initiatives that would catalyze the fintech ecosystem across the region, because we didn't like what we were seeing in the Caribbean relative to the rest of the world. Putting on an event like this was going to be the first step in rolling out those initiatives, and we were very, very fortunate to get bring some other pieces around us, like Andrew Morris, who you're familiar with, and some others on the team that have really been responsible for delivering this, right? If it was left to Kirk, Allison and I, trust me, it would not have been this event. The support that we were able to get from these folks has been tremendous.
And one of the things that always crops up in the video, and this is not a platitude, it feels very authentic, is that this is not just another tech conference. Yeah. It is an experience. Just talk me through what that means to make it an experience as opposed to just a conference.
Yeah. Look, we wanted to make sure that this wasn't just an event sequestered on a hotel property in some obscure part of the island. We wanted folks to come, do business, hear and participate in discussions around the biggest trends in fintech, but also take in a little bit of the local culture as well and support that. So we were really intentional in taking folks off of the venue and having those activities be the focal point for the connections and the networking. The elements kind of threw a wrench in the plans on day one, but if you remember the original agenda, we were taking folks off property every day. Because we felt as though they needed to see the island, they needed to see the region, and see how beautiful this place is and how friendly the folks are. Because a big part of this is facilitating business, right? Getting folks who don't have operations in the Caribbean to consider this region as a potential place for business. So we wanted them to get off the hotel property and into the communities so that they could see these wonderful places that we have and think about coming here for business. I just spoke to a founder who came all the way from Nigeria here, thinking about expanding, and now Barbados is on that list of countries that he could potentially be expanded into.
Do you think that we're in Barbados this year? Do you think that the investment agency and the government here in Barbados, you had Mia,
yeah,
do you think they're pretty happy with the results?
I mean, I'd like to think they are. She came and obviously gave a fantastic speech on Wednesday. Yeah, I would think they are. Look, we were able to bring folks from all over the world to Barbados, put on what is really an amazing event, show them the quality of work that we do here in the island, We're obviously going to be following up with most of them after the conference to get their feedback on, what they thought about the event. But I'd like to think the authorities here are quite pleased with what we've done and will support us for future events as well.
I want to look a wee bit to the future. You've mentioned, people are always saying, "Oh, we'll do it for the next 3 years." What does the future hold for Fintech Islands? And we won't hold you to this if you want to edit that out.
No, you can. Because look, I'll go back to the original question that you asked as well, the first question you asked, because it's something that I've told the team for the last couple of months quite often. I just mentioned that we started this idea in March of 2021. We were smack in the middle of the pandemic when the entire world was locked down. We're delivering it arguably in the middle of a global recession, right? Because of the muted economic activity that's going on. The fact that we were able to do that, I think it's pretty spectacular. We have not been operating in a business as usual environment for the entirety of the preparation stage for this event. And I think that just speaks to the quality of the folks that we were able to bring here. In terms of the future, there'll obviously be additional Fintech Islands events. There'll probably, hopefully, be bigger events. And bring in even larger audiences and larger businesses here. We want to also potentially find ways of supporting these founders and helping to build that ecosystem by creating a pool of capital that would allow us to do so. So we're going to see maybe in 2 or 3 years if we could set up some type of early stage investing fund so that as we're seeing more and more companies get started as a result of the work that we're doing with the event, we are able then to go and support those companies as investors. We're particularly interested in the climate fintech space, obviously given the location of the event and the region and how susceptible we are to hurricanes and other adverse weather events. So we're looking to see if we can create some type of innovation hub, center of excellence in the climate fintech space, because we as a region need to get, obviously, we need to get our adaptation and mitigation efforts scaled, and maybe climate fintech is a way that helps us to get there.